Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today I'm going to continue Volume 19, Episode 11 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac scrapbooks. And it's been a hot minute. I took a very wide detour from my scrapbooks for a while. And that's just because I had come upon some stuff and I thought, oh, I haven't made videos about this yet. Also, I'd kind of stepped aside from scrapbooks because I was missing a lot of stuff from 2012. And most unfortunately, I still am. It's just going to be something I have to come back to at some other point, but in the moment, we're just going to go forward like nothing happened. My collection doesn't really have to be in order, but I want it to be so badly in order so that it's scrapbooked in order, and I'm telling you the stories in order, but it's okay. I'm going to go forward into 2013 now, start that. I don't know after this if there's much else that I have of 2013, but this is kind of some good, highlights of 2013. So what I'm going to start with is my photos and such from two concerts that took place. The first one being in, I think the first one was May. Let's double check here. The first one was May 20th, 2013, and the second one was June 30th, 2013. Now listen, once again, what is it I say about my collection? I printed up all these photos. And in that time, I don't know what I did with the disc or wherever they were. And I'm not sure which was which show. I think I have them pretty much okay, but what I just did is just screw it all. It is what it is. And so some photos might be Seattle, some photos might be Portland. Who knows? It's anybody's guess. They're all still live shots and you can tell and stuff like that. So we're just going to start with the Tacoma Dome. That's the smallest amount here, and then we'll get into Portland because Tacoma was the first. So this was another instance where Fleetwood Mac, I mean, as you can tell, May 20th to June what did I say, June 30th? June 30th. I mean, that's quite a difference. I don't know that they had a date in Portland yet, or if they added it later. And I had also, this is the first time I had heard that a band cannot play within a certain mile radius, like in the same time, which I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what that's all about. But that's what I heard. And that's supposedly why they had to come back to the Portland area like 1 month later. I mean, I don't know, because most bands, especially like Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that, they'll hit like in the Bay Area, they'll hit like, Concord and the, San Jose and stuff like that, night after night, but whatever. I don't know if it's because of who owns the, the venues or what, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, so I drove all the way out to Seattle, and I don't know, I have no recollection of staying with anybody. I don't think it was like that. I think I just drove up there for the show. It was going to take my sweet time coming home. It was no big deal. So I drove up early. Again, I don't know that I had, I'm pretty confident I did not have a ticket for the show. And, so I played the game and stuff like that, kept going. And long story short, I got floor 1, row 11 at the last minute. So it was, not too bad. Now I say I don't get past row 10, but okay, this is one row past 10. However, it took me no time at all to be at the front. And I had some friends that had floor seats kind of a ways back, but like when people rushed the stage, nobody really bothered them. And it's funny because it was kind of like a weird rush of the stage for Seattle. It's like for every row that you would think would rush the stage, which would be like the first 5 or so, so they could keep their view, and they'd be stopping people in the back. It's kind of like the people stay in the front and they're like, meh, whatever. And the people like from far back came in front. And, but nobody really gave us much, in fact, I don't recall any problems afterwards when everybody got in the front. But what I will recall, which is the funniest story I have to tell at one of the shows I've been to, is, I've been to a lot of Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks shows, and the show's going well. It's a good vibe. My friends, I don't really know them that well, and the friend that I not went with, but I saw there, she had another friend I had never met before. Just everybody was really cool and stuff like that. But as I'm in the front, and my friends are kind of behind me to the right, I want to say, but to my left, there are 2 women up there, and they couldn't have been more than 20-something, legal, and they're flashing their tits the entire show, just lifting up their shirt over and over and over again. And I'm like, am I at a Motley Crue show? Like, hey, listen, whatever. Lindsay's hot. I think Lindsay's hot. But I'm not going to flash on my boobies. No, A, because I'm old, and they're not where they should be anymore. But, what? This is not acceptable behavior at a Fleetwood Mac show. And I will tell you something, too. I say that, not to be an old fart, but because we are, I'm pretty much right in front of Lindsay, but these girls are a little bit more to the left. so stage right, whatever that is. So they're not close to Stevie, but they're this much closer to Stevie than they are Lindsay. And Stevie is noticing. And Stevie just has this look of, you know, like she just smells shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was just, just and you know, nobody's jealous, but it's not where you go to. It's not what you do at a show. I don't know. And if Stevie's there, but Lindsey Buckingham show, I still wouldn't accept it. But you know, maybe at a Lindsey Buckingham solo show. But you know, and if you're gonna do that, spread the fun and show Mick, show Stevie, be all inclusive. It was just, but it was getting repulsive after a while because they were just obnoxious. They were just being so obnoxious, and it's like, you know, you're little hotties and stuff like that, but you know, have a little self-respect. It's a Fleetwood Mac show. It's not a, you know, Day on the Green. It's not 1970s. It's not, you know, and just stop. You know, the first couple times, whatever. Lindsay was smiling. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lindsay was smiling, but even after a while, Lindsay's like, you know, come on, like, you know. And he kind of gave this little smile and a wink, but I mean, these girls at the time were probably about the age of Lily. I mean, you know, I mean, that's gotta be kind of weird, especially after you have kids, you know, for an artist to be like, well, 2013, I'm not sure. Maybe she was still pretty, I don't remember. But nonetheless, it's got to be kind of strange. And I'm sure it's probably happened in a show, but nothing that I had ever been to. So I just really wonder what Lindsay thought of that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So the entire time he's doing, you know, his thing and he's performing, I'm pretty sure it was Come. And I don't know, you know, we all know that Lindsay doesn't play with a pick very often, but he does have them. And I've never gotten a Lindsey Buckingham pick because he doesn't often play with them. So during the whole show, and I want to say it's during that song, I am like begging and pleading for his pick. And I kept being like, you know, like this, like, you know, to him because I'm right in front of him. He's making eye contact. He's doing the whole thing and stuff like that. And he kind of does the nod, but, you know, he just nods anyway when he's singing and stuff like that and does that kind of, you know, that gentle, you know, that kind of head nod and stuff. So meanwhile, like I said, you know, the Bobbsey twins here, or, you know, it's Titty Palooza here, right? And so the show or that song ends or something like that. And, you know, Lindsay's doing his thing and he kind of walks up to Stevie and he comes, and I think, could be wrong. I'd love to see video of it. And I'm sure there is. I think he whispered something to her. Again, I'm not sure it was this song, but there was something alluding to the fact, like, are you seeing this shit here? You know, like, hey, I didn't ask for this or something, you know, I'm kidding, speculating on what they said. But he came back around and he went to reach in the crowd and people like just merged and stuff like that. And I had just looked away for a nanosecond and I looked up and he's like weaving his hand, you know, and like hands it to me. Like I'm not being all special or something like that. He hands that pick to me. Now there's only probably about like 3 or 4 people in front of me. Like if you were to line up or something like that, and you know, not too many people, but like he's kind of weaving in there too. And I was just like, I didn't have to show my tits. And I'm making a joke, but I'm saying that the power of fandom, in my opinion, and the power of appreciation and the power of respect gets you a lot more than the boobies do. The boobies are going to get you right what you want, and I have many stories of boobies at Fleetwood Mac shows, to be honest with you, if you can believe it. But you know, nothing was as crazy as that show with Lindsay, and I mean, those girls just were nonstop, just like, what are you doing? Like, you can't just stop it. Like, just you know, just stop it. You know, yeah. And they were drinking. They weren't obnoxiously drunk, to be honest with you, but they were drinking, and I get it. But just it was so funny to me because it wasn't a, you know, like a Motley Crue or a Van Halen. I don't know, just a show you expect boobies at. You know what I mean? You expect the girls on the guys' shoulders and they're flashing their, you know, or Mardi Gras or something like that. So anyway, I always call it Boobgate. I call it, you know, that show Boobgate. So again, here's some of the pictures. I think I'm pretty confident that these are pictures from Tacoma. Again, it's a toss-up, but my pets are being crazy. I always forget to take this out, don't I? I make them and I put them in so I'm sure that I have the right amount of sleeves, and then I go to do a video and I forget I got to take them out so that you don't get a glare. Here's my ticket, and here's my pick. I'd love to know if anybody knows what that means. I know, obviously, Lindsey Buckingham, but the TI, I know it's been speculated, or somebody might have even said what it is. And then you can kind of see through the pick. It has, like, on the other side of it, it has, like, a shape of a pick with a, like, a no through it. You know what I mean? The circle and slash going through it, which I think is pretty funny. On the back side of this, before we go into more concert photos, which is funny, as I had done this page, this was a really cool poster. This is still from 2013 that I had from the movie. I don't really want to go into details about this poster because it's super depressing. This belonged to me. This was a signed poster. I got it because Stevie I was given an option of little hearts or a star, and I chose the star. I ended up having to sell it, and I don't know who has it anymore, but you know, if I could undo a lot of things I've done in the past, I would not have sold that one. You know, times are tough, but still, I could have probably gotten away with it. And if you recall the friend that I mentioned a couple times back now, who passed away, a dear friend of mine, that's who obtained this for me. So it just bums me out so hard. But yeah, I had a picture of it. It was kind of cool. So I have the memory of that, and I had it. But you know, some parts in, I think, Rolling Stone magazine, or the plan for the tours in 2013. Then this is really cool. I did not see Fleetwood Mac in Vegas, but they had room keys, and I think this might be this is the first or the second one I've shown. And funny enough, an auction just ended on eBay where there was a Stevie Nicks room key, a real nice picture of her, and from about this time too. And it ended for $30. There's like a whole bunch of room keys, but there was only one with a picture of Stevie. And I'm like, do I want to spend 30 for? I did I kind of wish I had, but I had this one, and then I obtained another one at a later date, so I was able to kind of show you the front and the back. But I just love it when they do that. Put the artist on there for the room keys. And then this was a really cool little. It's a proper ticket, even though it doesn't say anything on the back. It tells you the price and the time and everything like that. To go see In Your Dreams, and that was not this was not one of my areas. I'm not even sure where this was at. It might have been my friend had sent me something from San Luis Obispo. I'm not sure. This was a picture that I knew for a fact was Portland, and it's how I posted it on the internet. It was the only one that I had printed. Cute little remnants about Stevie. This Tat Bits was Fleetwood Mac is heading back on the road for a 34-city tour kicking off in April, and will release new music, sort of. Whether or not we're going to do any more songs, we don't know, because we're so completely bummed out with the state of the music industry and the fact that nobody ever wants a full record, Stevie Nicks said. Everybody wants 2 songs, so we're going to give them 2 songs. Lindsey Buckingham calls the tracks the most Fleetwood Mac-y stuff in a long time. And I believe, of course, that would be a future glimpse into long play, I think is what it was called, the little 4-song EP thing that they released digitally only, and I would love for them to properly release that. So yeah, so there's that one. This story I did not mean to go so long, and so I'm going to kind of end it earlier. I have several more. Let me show one other page here, because I have the others from this one here. It was just kind of miscellaneous stuff, so it didn't really go into the pictures and stuff. Oops, Jesus. This was a nice, this was about the expanded rumors. I think this is one of the first time the expanded rumors had come out, so it's a nice article on that. This is kind of a sweet article. I guess it was from the Bay Area News Group. I don't know, but it's one of the few times, not really a few times, that sounds awful, but my dad sends me articles very occasionally, and they mean the most to me, and they stand out like a sore thumb. And this was a article that he had sent to me just because it mentioned Fleetwood Mac, and because of them opening for Fleetwood Mac. This is a band I don't especially go out of my way to care for, but if you do recall or saw my video with the Lindsey Buckingham and them performing together, that is top-notch entertainment. That is a really good CD. I really appreciate them and Lindsey's how they work together. I really, really like that. On their own, not really my bag. I don't dislike them, but I just have never gone out and gotten more stuff of theirs or something like that. But yeah, but this really meant a lot when I opened up in the mail, and I'm like, what is this? And just a whole thing about how stoked they were to be opening up for Fleetwood Mac at the Jazz Fest. Yeah. And then rumors of Fleetwood Glasgow gig, does not give a date. They've been on hiatus since 2009, and a planned 2011-12 tour was canceled. So it's just the fact that Fleetwood Mac was going to the UK and playing Glastonbury. So that was a cool little segment on them going overseas. On the other side, again, more stuff. This really should be I should probably put this before anything, right? It's a no-brainer. because it's the dates and such. So sure enough, I have, let's see, it's funny, it doesn't show, no, it's funny, it does not show Portland on here. It does show the 20th, the Seattle show, but then if you go down here, it doesn't go as far as the Portland show. So I think I am correct when I say that it was a date added later. And sometimes artists, you know, Portland's obviously a big city, but so is Seattle. And there are times when artists, like when Madonna did her whole tour, she only went to Seattle. And I forget what band it was here recently, somebody pretty big as well, but they only hit Portland. They did not hit Seattle, which is really unusual. So there are times when that does happen. Doesn't mean the band won't circle back and come to these places, but oftentimes, you know, it can be that a band will. So I want to say that these dates are what they started off with, and then they added Portland later. This little snippet is funny too. Just a little Stevie Nicks' birthday and all these other people that were, you know, at the same time. And then this was look at this guy's name. I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but that's funny. It's funny. This was a nice little thing on extended plays, so it was nice to have a little, you know, little paperwork or comment on it. And it was after 10 years of radio silence, Fleetwood Mac shocked almost everyone last week by issuing a 4-track EP on iTunes. What may be even more shocking is that it's actually pretty good. Even with the obvious wear and tear in their voices, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham still sound sublime when they lock together on Without You, a song dating back to their pre-Mac days, and the gorgeous chorus of Miss Fantasy. True, those tracks are otherwise run-of-the-mill, but there's a real gem within their mini set, the opener Sad Angel, a brisk and brilliant mid-tempo rocker with the kind of instantly singable hook that used to help them move records by the silo full. Such gargantuan sales aren't likely to be replicated these days, of course, but it's reassuring to hear that Fleetwood Mac can still pull some magic out of the air when the fancy takes them. So it's a really nice review on that. And I sure wish they would take advantage of that and press that. That would be a wonderful record store release, record store day. You know, music people, if you're, you know, music people gods, if you're out there, I mean, I would really like that to be on tangible media. I think that'd be great. CD, whatever, would be fine. It kind of be, in my opinion, kind of a waste of money on CD, but, you know, because people could download it and put it on CD. But like a 10-inch record, a 10-inch vinyl record would be amazing because, what have I said before, Fleetwood Mac does not have a 10-inch record on any of their special releases, so that would be kind of fun. It'd be perfect for 2 songs per side, wishful thinking, pipe dreams. So that will be that video. I did not mean for one video to go this long, so I do apologize. And I'm going to come back, you know, exactly with who I am and what I am right this second to do the second part. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.